Hey everyone, Grant here with Ristretto. Today I'll be guiding you through a checklist for the 512, things that you'll want to check before you ride, as well as ongoing maintenance that you'll want to keep on hand to go through every 2 to 3 months. In this video we'll be covering the forks, the front tensioner, the rear chain guide, handlebars, the battery, and the tires. For this video we will need some tools, so we will be using a bike pump. You can definitely use one a little bigger than this. This is just for demonstration purposes. We also recommend you pick up some Loctite, specifically the blue Loctite. This you can put on your bolts to make sure that they stay tight. Chain lube for lubing the chain. A torque wrench for tightening your bolts to the specified Newton meters. An Allen key set. You definitely can use your Ristretto Allen key set that came in the box, but we also recommend you pick up your own set so that you can have some more flexibility with them. And finally, your keys for locking your battery. Starting off with, we're going to be looking at the front forks. So before we do any work on the bike, we always recommend that you turn the bike off and or remove the battery. For the front axle bolts, we're going to be using Loctite, the blue Loctite. And then we are going to tighten these bolts by hand with a 5mm hex key. Once they're tightened by hand, we can then use our torque wrench to get them to the specified 5 Newton meters of torque. Next, we want to check our pinch bolts. We want to make sure that these are tightened with our torque wrench to 20 Newton meters. And then for the upper bolts on the forks, using the torque wrench, tightening them to a spec of 12 Newton meters. Next up, we're going to talk about keeping your chain lubed. This is something you're going to want to do when you first get your bike, as well as every month or two, depending on how frequently you ride. If you are an everyday rider, this is something you're going to want to do every week or two, but for those of you who ride more like the weekends or every couple weeks, this is going to be closer to every 1 to 2 months. This will make sure that your chain stays healthy and will keep your bike running smooth. Now we're going to tighten the handlebars. This can be done with a 6mm hex key and is required when you first open your bike. This is something that we recommend that you check in on every month or two just to ensure that they are staying tight and good to go. Now for the tires. Using a bike pump, we will inflate the tires to 20 psi. This is something you'll need to do when you first get your bike, as well as checking in on and doing every couple of weeks depending on how often you ride. Next up, the front tensioner and the rear chain guide. You will also need to use a torque wrench and tighten them to these specific Newton meters. These are lower maintenance and only need to be done every 1 to 2 months, but it's good to check in on them to see how they're doing. And lastly, locking your battery. This is something you're going to want to do every time you ride to keep your battery securely in place on your bike. This is going to prevent any vibrations, rattles, or any chance of theft. Alright, like I said, just a quick checklist video for the Ristretto 512. This is something that you're going to want to come back through every month or two. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at info@ristretto.us. And thank you for watching.